Today I want to show you how to use Kami to translate. This is incredible for students who are emerging bilinguals, learning a new language, need to type in more than one language, or need some additional assistance that maybe you don't have language assistance for, like an interpreter's not available, or it's a language that's not familiar to you or your school district. So let's jump right in. I'm going to open a document that I've already created on Kami. So I will be opening my Google Drive, but you can open whatever you want. You can open a blank page, Google Drive, OneDrive, my computer, your Kami library. I am creating a whole class on Kami and how to use it in different ways in your classroom to help kids learn. Today we're just going to learn translation though, so stay tuned for those other videos. All right, here I have an example of what a student may write. I have some very simple sentences in Spanish, and I want to show you how Translate works. So this works really well if you want to translate a piece of a document. It is not the best for translating a whole document. I have another video on my channel of how to use Google Docs to translate longer documents. I highly recommend you check that out if you're looking for something larger in scope than just a couple of sentences. So here it may default you to select when you first log into Kami, but what you're looking for, the tool is in the Understand section. So click on Translate here. And we also want to make sure that we're toggling our selection on. That means whatever we put in our little crosshairs here, it is going to translate. So I draw my box, just click and drag. Once I let it go, it's going to translate into whatever language I tell it to. Here, for some reason, it decided to go to French. Let's try English instead. There we go. It translated it perfectly from what I intended it to say. Now, from here, you can copy it to a clipboard. You can create a comment. You can read it out loud, which is amazing if you have students, again, learning a language. And I always like to give the AI a thumbs up if it's helpful, or a thumbs down if it's not good, because this is beta, meaning they're testing the AI. So we want to encourage AI when it's right, and we want to discourage AI when it's wrong. So here you can see this is a really great use for Kami translation, just to perhaps translate a word or a couple of words or whatever the case may be. Now I want to show you one other way that it can be really helpful for your students. All right, this is the other way that Kami can be really helpful to use translation. If you have a student who, again, is learning a language, going to class in another language, and you want to make sure that they understand the directions on an assignment, this can be really helpful. If I click on Translate, I'm going to drag my cursor just over part of it this time. And this time I want it to translate to Spanish instead. The cool part here is,
mira la letra mayúscula.
I can have it read it out loud. So this gives kids a lot more freedom where you don't have to be with them at all times for them to be successful in understanding what a written direction says. It also works in English. It will read it to you in English as well if that's the language that you're looking for. We can, again, go for a bigger selection. Now, if I want to change this, to get out of this, I just click on something else and then click back on Translate is the way I found is the easiest. So this time I wanted to translate all of the directions on my worksheet. More text takes a little bit more time, but here we go.
Mira la letra mayúscula. ¿Qué letra minúscula coincide con la letra mayúscula? Colorea la burbuja al lado de la respuesta correcta.
All right, and there you go. So this can be a really helpful tool for parts of worksheets, individual vocabulary words that are on a sheet or something like that. It can be from a document that a student writes themselves, as I showed earlier here with our translation test. So Kami can be incredibly helpful. It is a newer feature. So again, if the AI is right, give it a thumbs up and tell it it's helpful. If it is incorrect, please give it a thumbs down and say it is not helpful so that the AI can continue to improve to help our students. All right, hope that was helpful as well. Give me a thumbs up if you think that was helpful, and I'll be back for more tech tips soon.